What's up, YouTube? Jose here, Wire Ninjas, New Jersey's finest audio, video, and home theater installation team. Today we're in Robinsville, New Jersey, and what we're going to do here today is a Prewire for audio, video, and data systems. That includes a 5.1 clips theater as well as 3 additional audio and video zones. Now we're going to do 3 TVs in the additional zones as well as a set of stereo speakers in the additional zones, all with volume controls. So let's take a look at what that's going to be like. Alright guys, let's walk the space now. So this is the space we have to work with. As you can see, this is our staging area. We like to lay out all our wires, some tools, all the cables that are going to be used, maybe the pre-construction gangs or brackets and stuff. This is generally what a site looks like. This thing is freshly framed. Another thing, installers, it's good to have 1 ladder per technician. We only have 2 techs because some people are on vacation right now. And that's my little work area. See my laptop? Alright, so let's walk this space. So right here we're going to have sort of like a ping pong / billiards area, sort of like a rec room play area on this side. As you can see, a lot of our builds are multi-room builds, you know, they're multi-use rooms. They're not totally dedicated theaters all the time. This would be nice, but it doesn't work for every home, every budget. Not everyone has the space or the budget to do a dedicated theater room, but it's fine. You can achieve really nice results as long as you get the right guys in there to do things correctly. So this is our screen wall. We're going to have a 120-inch Screen Innovation screen up on that wall. We're going to do left, right, and center on the wall as well. And then if you take a look at the ceiling, we're going to do 4 speakers in ceiling. And particularly because we don't have a wall on this side, so we can't do our surrounds or our wide channels there. We have a wall on that side, but we don't have symmetry here. So we're going to do 4 in the ceiling, 2 will be surrounds, and 2 will be Atmos height speakers. This is the seat staging area. As you can see, I built a little stage, lifted it up for the seating. You're going to have 1 chair there, a few chairs back there, and I think a second row on the lower portion of the floor. Now, speakers are going to be overhead for surround, and then you're going to have Atmos heights at the correct position in front. And let's take a look at the back. So, again, this multi-use room. He's going to do a really cool little build-in right here. He's going to do like a little nook, you know, like a cool little like cozy like hanging out area inside under the stairs, which I think is a great idea. Back here behind the theater seating, you're going to have a bar. Nice little bar where people can have like stools right here, just chill, watch the movie if they want. You know, it adds additional seating, adds value to the room. Also, it opens it up so that the whole bar and most of the room can get a look at the theater as well. As you can see, there's a pillar in the middle, but you're gonna have the bar and you're gonna have good view of this theater right here. Again, seating right there. This is the actual bar area. So back here, you're gonna have a nice bar. You picture all the bottles on the wall and stuff like that. And then we're going to add to the bar a little bit by doing a TV panel here. We'll have a nice TV panel, can pull it off the wall, angle it towards the bar if you want. Also, I do have to mention, we're going to do a little karaoke station. So we're going to pre-wire the correct audio and video circuits so that we can do a little karaoke station right there. Pretty cool stuff. Sometimes we have requests that we do not mind fulfilling. Now, what else? Let's take a look at our rack location. So on the initial pre-wire, what you want to do, the first thing is establish the point of origin and destination for all the circuits you're going to build. Now, this is going to be the rack location. So what I like to do is take a walk with the homeowner, spend a good amount of time, take a walk and say, listen, man, where's everything going to go? Let's get on the same page with ourselves. So the rack drop's going to be here. This is going to be the point of origin for all our circuits today, data, audio, and video. As you can see, there's some pre-wire. Oh, look, we have a buddy. Ah. Oh, that's adorable. Come here, little guy. I forgot his name. He's cute as hell, though. So rack's going in this room. And then we're going to redistribute out of this room throughout the basement. Now, the last thing we want to cover would be in-ceiling audio or additional multi-zoned audio, stereo speakers. So we're going to do 1 speaker around here, another one here, and then 2 more down the line. So we're going to fill up this whole area, this back wall, this back area, or bar area with audio. And we're going to we're going to add some layers of control via volume controls. That way they can control the volume. Each set of speaker will get its own volume control. You can see right here we have it spec'd out. We're going to get them in next to the current lighting system controls. So we'll have 4 speakers in the ceiling, and then we're going to do also 2 more additional speakers, stereo pair, for the play area, the playroom. Now, when it comes to multi-zoned audio, you have source control and volume control, and then you also can add in zones. So you can have one zone or one source over multiple zones with volume controls, or you can have 3 sources with 3 zones and 3 volume controls. These are added layers of control, and it's nice to have 3 sources per, or 1 source per zone. However, this does raise the cost of the installation up, as the equipment necessary is, you can only use 1 Sonos source device or port per zone. So if you want 3 sources, you got to have 3 source devices. Just brings the budget up a little bit, but it's nice to do this. If you don't have the budget for it, you do 1 source device over multiple zones. You add in the volume controls, which gives you that extra layer of control. I think that about covers it. We're going to start wiring this place up, and we'll show you what that looks like when we're all finished. What's up, guys? Jose, still here in Robinsville, New Jersey, and we're getting into this pre-wire. Just want to give you guys a look at what we've done over here. Now, this is kind of a preliminary pre-wire. Normally, we come in with the electrician at that phase of construction, after the framers, HVAC and plumbing. Electricians and low voltage specialists will come in and do all your wiring. Now, we're a little bit early because we like to get things done. We have a busy schedule. And like I said, it's preliminary, so we're going to note a couple things and also show you guys a couple things, as well as some insight and methodology behind a pre-wire. So, for example, here we have a speaker run. There's 2 stereo speakers going in this room, but we really like the hi-hats or the recessed lighting to be in place, the baffles. That way we can take into account the aesthetics of the lighting, particularly where the fixtures are going. And so what we did here today at this pre-wire was we pre-wired everything, including audio. And so we left enough slack on these cables so that after the electricians come and put their lighting in, once this is gone, the real lights are in place, we can take a look at the lighting system and say, all right, let's put our speakers here and make the aesthetics as best we possibly can. Usually speakers like to fall right in between lights, and using lasers, you do, a nice, precise, accurate line and match the line of the lights themselves, so it looks just perfect. Anytime you're walking down, you see light, speaker, real nice. So like I said, we're preliminary here, or early phase of construction at this site, but we wanted to get the wiring job done. So that's why you see a large little spool of audio cable. So electricians will come, they'll put their lights in, and at that point we can continue to run this cable. But it's nice to have it in place for ourselves. Most of the work is done here at this site. All right, let's take a look. This would be the rec area where the ping pong table is going. Couple things to note. We have volume controls here. So the volume control module is going here. What we like to do is pre-wire a 4-conductor cable to the volume control module, and then 2 2-conductor cables to each speaker. Volume control, let's see. So let's take a look at how the wires are run a little bit. So as you can see, it's nice, it's neat, it's clean. We mostly use Velcro for all of our installations. Velcro is great for any type of cabling. However, you can use zip ties on, let's say, maybe audio cable and power. Power is okay in my mind. But we like to use Velcro anywhere we possibly can. It looks clean, it's serviceable. And not only that, if you have to pull the wire out, pull some slack on it or whatever, it slides right through that Velcro. It doesn't lock it into place like your Romex staples, your zip ties, or your other systems for fastening wires to studs. So definitely use Velcro if you can afford to. It really doesn't cost that much. It does take a little bit more time to use, but it's well worth it in my opinion, because you can slide that wire back and forth. You can make edits as you need to. Now, in this area, as I stated before, we're doing 4 speakers in the ceiling down this hall. This is gonna be our main bar area / lounge, chill area. Theater's over there where Steve's doing our last run right now. Same thing here. So we left a spool of wire. We know the speaker's gonna fall in one of these bays. It's gonna fall there, and that's about it. It's gonna fall in one of those bays, but we don't know exactly where. We wanna get the lights in here, and we don't wanna get in the way of other contractors. So we like to be versatile, flexible, and make sure we play nice with the other guys on site. Same thing here. We know the speaker's going to fall in one of these bays, so we have enough of that wire to run it anywhere we see fit after the electricians come and do the lighting. Same thing here. We have a couple bays to play in, and on this side, we know it's going to fall in one of these bays, so again, we have enough slack. On this side of the room, we determine the volume control is going to go here, right next to the current lighting situation. Again, you pre-wire your 4-conductor to the volume control modules, and then you go 2-conductor back to the speakers. You can also go 4-conductor back to the speakers. We like to do that too, but since we didn't know exactly where the speakers are going to be placed in final, it was smarter to just run 2 conductors wired to each speaker location. Because when you do 4-conductor, you have to make a loop, and when you do 4-conductor, you should know where the speaker's going. So again, once it's ready, we'll come back, we'll put our pre-construction brackets in for the speakers, and then we'll have them in our final resting place. Now, again, Steve's running the last of our circuits here, which are these 2 HDMIs. Something to note here, so we like to use pro-grade cables only. Now, at minimum, I run a Super Pro cable, is what I call it, like a really nice cable, and then a pro-grade cable at minimum. It's not worth, for example, if you do a lot of sites, you hit a lot of sites, maybe the guys run a cable backwards, it'll save you a lot of time and money for you to just run 2 cables, and if one fails for any reason, you have a second cable there. You don't want to fall back on the bail-in unless you have to. Something to note with the bail-in, so anytime I do what I call an AVD or audio-video data drop for a media location such as a TV, I like to run 3 cat cables at minimum, as well as 2 coaxial or high-resistance audio cable. So coaxial we can terminate with RCAs, and we can pull the audio from the TV. A lot of these newer TVs are becoming, they're smart TVs, so they're becoming the source themselves. So if the TV is the source, then you need to draw audio from the TV if you're running, an aftermarket or separate audio system aside from the TV speakers. So in the event that this homeowner wants to pull the audio from the TV and send it to any of the speakers in the entire basement, he can do so because we gave him the versatility through the Prewire by running these 2, let's see, the 2 thicker ones here, this quad shield. So by running these 2 quad shield cables, I can terminate these with RCA, and we can have an audio out from the TV. It's a really nice thing to do. Our coaxial in particular is probably the cheapest cable you could run, besides, Cat 5 is a little bit more. And then Cat 6, or category structured cabling. You should be using Cat 6. Dude, even for TV runs, even for IR circuits, I use Cat 6 for everything. It's just the standard. Why not? It really doesn't blow up the budget in any way. And it's definitely future-proof in the sense that if ever we go 8K, the HDMIs aren't going to carry an 8K signal, not these. We didn't have it in this budget to run 8K cables, and they're very expensive. So with Cat 6 cabling in place, we can definitely do an HDMI extender down the road, and we can give him that 8K that he needs to this location. So AV data drops or TV locations, make sure you hit 3 cat cables. 2 RCAs is really nice, a set of RCA cables. You can do an optical, they're delicate. I really like coax because it's very versatile and it's really robust. I mean, this cable, it lasts forever, and it's probably the strongest cable amongst the bunch. It's definitely more robust than HDMI. Cat cable does seem to last forever too, but it is solid core. Coaxial solid core, but it's got a nice quad shield on there. Let's move forward. Let's take a look at our runs. So our runs, we choose to do our runs in a particular way. Steve's not done doing this. He'll probably hit a Velcro there and get this secured to the stud bay. Even though it's in this boxed area and totally out of the way of everything, it's nice to have, clean wire runs. But we ran our wires in a particular fashion. A couple of the reasons why we do it is, let's get a good example here. So electricians love to use the structural elements of the home, as you can see, to run their Romex wiring. Let's get the light on there. So you'll notice this, especially in this level or this phase of construction. That's not good, that extension cord. So a lot of electricians like to use the structural, beams for the wiring. Now, none of the electrical has been done in this home yet, and I just know for sure that they're going to run a lot of wires along that beam. One of the reasons why is because they can't shoot through it, and they usually need to pass by it, or at least, pass by and get over it or under it or whatever it is. But it seems to be in almost every home I go to, there is Romex wiring, you know, how do you say, stapled to the beams. So we like to cross our data wires or cables at a section, you know? So electrical's going this way. If you're gonna cross electrical, you wanna do it like this, in an intersecting fashion, a 90 degree. As you can see, the other side, so this is the other side. This is all the electrical coming in. A big reason why we decided to do the data down that side is to keep it away from that electrical, that, you know, that high voltage cabling. As you can see, a different company came in here and put this run, and they don't have these standards in place. They don't have the practice to say, okay, well, EMI is a thing, you know? Let's not give the feasibility or possibility that this cable, this data can be affected or corrupted in any way. So they put it right next to the Romex, which wasn't smart, especially in a bare stud situation. Take the time, plan your wire runs, and get it done correctly. See, there's a lot of electrical there. We wanted the rack location to be here. So we wanted to definitely stay away from that. We wanted to stay away from that. So that's one of the reasons why we chose to take this wire path. Now, same thing here. I like to secure the wires to studs. I like my wiring as clean as possible, but being that we're doing this a little bit early, we're gonna go ahead and run this. I made the decision to run inside this box. It'll get secured later, but I know that electrical is not gonna come into this box. I know that they're gonna have to do it, you know, elsewhere, because low voltage has the ability to ride these boxes, you know, these HVAC box, framed out boxes, where electrical does not. It has to be secured to studs at certain lengths or distances. Now, same thing here. Electricians, just in my experience in the field, they like to use these lower portions of the stud base. They'll probably run here, here, and here. A couple reasons why. Most likely that, you know, the outlets are pretty low, so they'll catch one, they'll ride it down, and then they'll shoot all the way across. It's probably a matter of efficiency. Everyone likes to get things done, you know, and get home, but that's a reason why we chose this top, as you can see, this top wire path. This is the front projection screen wall, and we have a left, right, and center speaker, as well as two subwoofers going here. I don't know if I mentioned prior in this video, but we like to take the time to go through with the homeowner and literally choose locations for everything. We take into account the space, you know, the spatial, acoustic, and as well as aesthetic properties, and make a proper educated decision here. I like to get client input. I like to make clients happy, and part of that is getting their input and, you know, making a real fully educated decision. As you can see, we have an audio drop here. There's going to be two speakers here, and from that location we can redistribute to anywhere we see fit for the front set of speakers. Back here by the projector we have another set of in-ceiling here. Projectors, same thing. Any video source, run 2 HDMIs. Only pro-grade cables. Do not cheap out on HDMI cables. You will regret it. Also, 3 cat cables. I don't know if I mentioned, but 1 cat cable is for Ethernet, you know, for a hardwired internet connection. Another one is to build IR circuits or additional circuits. You know, you got 4 pairs or 8 cables in there. And the other one's a backup for a video bail. And in the event that we ever do upgrade 8K or something, we can use one of those cat cables specifically to extend the HDMI for video distribution purposes. Let's go back to the front. In the front, you'll notice here that this center channel, it's not only an audio cable, but it's a cat cable. This is for IR data transmission. We like to run a cat to the front, let's say the front projection wall or the viewing wall, because when you point the remotes, you naturally do it pointing at the screen. This just happened over time. You know, we're just used to doing it, pointing the remote at the screen. So I like to have an IR input at the screen itself. They can point the remote at the screen and everything works. Over here on the right and left, as you can see, we pre-wired for a subwoofer and a speaker. Subwoofer is going to fall somewhere in here, so we have plenty of cable to do that. Same thing on the left side. In this room, this theater, let's take a look at the ceiling itself. I may have mentioned this before, but check it out. There's a lot of HVAC piping in here. And so it's not optimal. But we have enough space to do 2 sets in the ceiling. And that's really all we need. You know, we're going to get good sound out of it, and the room correction is going to take care of this multi-use room. And we're going to get a good sound. So that's the space. Maybe show you guys a little bit around. I think I demoed it before. We have a stage seating. We're going to do 2 rows of seating. I think at last, so the last run when we come back, actually, we're going to come back and finish this thing, put in the pre-construction brackets, as well as a little karaoke station. That'll be one more run. For karaoke, what I like to do is split the audio and video signal. They requested we do the little station here, the port on the wall. So they're going to have an HDMI that goes directly to the projector so that they can run whatever, you know, video they want, the lyrics and stuff on the screen. But also, we're going to do an audio input as well. So with a mixer, they can send the video to the projector where they need it, and they can send the audio to the audio system where they need it. It's pretty much what you have to do to get karaoke done right. I think that's about it. That about covers that. Oh, rack location. So let's go back to our rack location. Let's take a look. As you can see, we got a lot of wire. So the rack's gonna be back there. We'll just scope in. Rack's gonna be all the way back here, right? And then we have this long, long, nice whip of wire. Comes out, comes around. Very important, guys. Any of you guys pre-wiring, leave yourself a nice length of wire. You're really gonna be happy about it in the future. When I build a rack, I build my circuits long enough so that the rack can literally be pulled out of the room, moved around. The room can be serviced. Anything can be done. The rack won't obtrude, you know, it won't hinder anything that has to happen in this room. They decide to finish this room, they could pull the rack all the way out without touching any of my wires, leaving the system intact, you know, keeping the integrity of the circuits we built, and everyone will be happy. You know, the other tradesmen on site that have to work in this room will be happy, and the client will be happy because he has a working system, you know. People can come in, do their job, and leave, and they won't destroy my stuff. Hey guys, Jose at Wire Ninjas here. So we just finished the first day of the preliminary pre-wire here in Robinsville, New Jersey. And we gave you a good look and some insight as to what it takes, how to do it, you know, what the setup's gonna be here like. We have one more day of pre-wire here. We're gonna come in after the electricians come, and we'll put in our final speaker brackets, the pre-construction brackets, and that'll be it. Until the walls go up, we can't come back, we can't do any more work, but it'll be nice to get this off the itinerary. Client will be happy, and the rest of the contractors and crew can come in and do what they need to do. Now, as soon as we're done, we will do a nice little video on the finished theater, the finished product, as well as a demo of the system, what it looks like, what it sounds like. So please stay tuned and check out that video, watch the channel, and thanks, peace, and love.